Sashi, okay? Sashi. Okay. Yell Sashi.
Sashi.
Fuki jokshin mektok tram. Rira blingshir nendegen padi. Sangye shingdu mikte ulwargi. Joku namdak shingla juparsho. Iram guru ratnamadalakam niryatayami.
Sangye.
Jurang soki choknam la. Changchu bardu dakni kapsuchi. Daki jinsoki petsunam ki. Jolar penchir sange jupar shok.
Sangye.
Jurang soki choknam la. Changchu bardu dakni kapsuchi. Daki jinsoki petsunam ki. Jolar penchir sange jupar shok.
Sangye.
Jurang soki choknam la. Changchu bardu dakni kapsuchi. Daki jinsoki petsunam ki. Jolar penchir sange jupar sho. Yay. Wow, good job, Monica. You're natural.
Thank you.
What does Sangye mean? Do you know?
I don't remember. And
it means Buddha.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me that important word.
Yeah, it's pretty important. And what about Sashi? Do you know that one?
No.
It means the great earth. It's what you're making. You're making an offering of like the whole world. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. I'll probably bother you again with these questions. All right. Let us begin with the quiz. Woohoo! Word already did his quiz. Are you translating my laugh, Rivas? Try. Okay, good. That's the Spanish version. It's actually a Simpsons laugh. I stole it from Nelson. If you guys know who that is. Probably seeing me. That's the life. Okay. Not that one. Okay, we ready? I'm gonna hit the button now. You're gonna have about 10 minutes. It's not a hard quiz. Here we go. How are we doing? ¿Acabaste? ¿Acabimos? Rivas is done. But Rivas knows all the answers already. Okay. Voy a comenzar el clase. ¿Está bien? Marisol says yes, so we're gonna start. Okay. Okay, so we are still doing this amazing thing called Lojong, which means mind training, right? Isn't that what Lojong means? Monica says no. Oh, Lojong Churchen. Monica wants to debate with me. Lojong Churchen. Let's talk about Lojong. Lo, mind, Jong, training, yinte. It means mind training. Because, no, it means mind training, yinte. Why? Because lo means mind and Jong means training. Cheer. Monica.
No.
No, you can say kabamajung or takmajung. You can say, yeah, just because it's lojang doesn't mean it's mind training, or just because lo means mind and jung means training doesn't mean lojang really means mind training. Which one?
The second one.
Okay, takmajung.
Takmaju.
Say takmajung.
Takmaju.
Oh, okay. So shock. Tell me what it means.
It means developing a good heart. Training.
Oh, okay. Barbara also said that. Good. Yeah, that's what it means. Perfect. Good. It's not like about an IQ test or something. 1 second. Where are we? I had this all set up before class. Oh yeah, this is it. Okay. Perfect. So this is class 4 Lojong. This Lojong we're studying now is called Lojong Dunduma. Said Lojong.
Lojong.
Dunma.
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 Zun. Zun.
Tun. Third column. Ta. Tun.
Word. I don't know if it's me, but I can only see the ACI course 14 internet. How do you call the thing? Pestaña. How do you say that in English? We can't see the PDF. I don't know if it's only me though.
Can you wait? Hold on.
Me as well. We can't see the homework. There you go.
Yeah.
You never
now.
saw, did you? But you saw the homework earlier, right?
No, we never saw the quiz.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Why did you say something?
Because I thought you didn't want it to show it.
No, I thought I hit the button.
No.
Did you do the quiz?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it was an accident. I thought I hit the button. You guys, when politeness backfires. Okay. Here you go. Now you can see it, right? Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. So, so this is the trans pronunciations, what I call it. Lojong Dundunma. This tun is like a third column. Right, Rivas? Tun, right? This is it. It means points here. Anyway, so this is the lojong for the lojong broken up into 7 points. Okay, that's all it means. And it's very famous and it's amazing, and there's an amazing story. And I think I'll tell you the story in about 2 seconds, okay? So the first teacher of this lojong is this guy called Tubwong. Who's that? The answer's right there.
The Buddha?
Yeah. Who said that?
Monica.
I dared to talk. Uh-oh. Now I'm going to ask you more questions. What does tub mean? Okay, how about I'll tell you what tub means and you tell me it in Sanskrit. You ready?
Okay.
Tub means able one.
Yeah, no.
Someone else knows. How do you say able? Sanskrit. You've heard it a million times. No. Good try though. Tathagata means one thus gone. No. Bhagavat means the conqueror. Good try though. So the Buddha's got a lot of nicknames. Have you heard Shakya Muni? Okay, it's not Siddhartha either. Good try. Siddhartha means the one who accomplishes everything he does. Shakyamuni means the able one of the Shakyas, of the Shakya clan. Okay, anyway, Tubwong. Wong means king or lord or something. 1 second, hold on. Okay, everyone. Sorry, I'm in South Philly. If you can hear people in the background. If you know anything about Philly, you get it. Anyway, okay, so then Lord Buddha taught this teaching to this other guy, you might have heard of him, called Maitreya. Okay? That is the next Buddha on this planet, they say. It's giving all the answers away. But anyway, next is Tokme Kuche. Tokme means unstoppable. In Sanskrit, that's Sangha, cannot be stopped. And Kuche means, and his brother, that's Master Vasubandhu. This is the lineage, you gotta know the lineage. And these years are skipping around. If you know anything about the history of Buddhism, Lord Buddha existed in the body we know him as is like 500 BC. Maitreya was around at the same time as him because he was a direct student, right? As a bodhisattva in open teachings. And then Tokme was 250 AD. 1 second. All right. And then, okay, so, and then this is like around, this is in the 900s. We don't have any, we have one student from Singapore, Ling Hui. She's still here? Yeah, Ying Hui.
Yes, hi teacher.
Hi. Oh no, the answer is there. Damn it. Do you know Salingapa?
No, not really.
He's very famous. He's from the Golden Isle. What's the Golden Isle? It's close to your house.
Really?
Yeah. Suvarna Dwipa. It's Sumatra. You know this island?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Here's the answer. Yeah, so they used to call, well, in Sanskrit, Savarna Dwipa, but Indonesian language, I guess Bahasa, they call it Sumatra, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where this teacher is from. Very famous. Because that used to be a Buddhist place many years ago. Like for probably hundreds of years. I don't know the exact history. Anyway, so Salingapa is the next famous Lama in the lineage. If you know anything about the Lam Rim that we studied, he's the Lama that Lord Atisha traveled across the Indian Ocean in like a little boat. It took like 3 months. And then how long did he wait to get teachings from Salingapa after he got to the island, which took him 3 months on a treacherous journey to get to? Anna just says 2. I'm not sure 2 what, but
2 years.
Más. ¿Cuántos? Aldo
I thought
Aldo Rias says 14. 12. 12 years. That's crazy. That's like you move to Sedona to study Geshe Michael, and for 12 years you just like hang around like, let me check him out. That would be crazy, right? But supposedly that's what happened. So then the next student in the lineage is Lord Atisha, who you might have heard of. I don't know. He's pretty famous. He's an Indian master who got asked by the Tibetans to come to Tibet. And he relocated to Tibet kind of when he was older. I think he was in his 50s or 60s already. And he knew it was going to shorten his life, but he went anyway because he knew what great benefit it would be. But it would be like, I don't know, without disparaging anybody, it would be like, I don't know. It's actually like Ken Rinpoche coming to America and teaching Americans, actually. I'll just disparage myself. How about that? Like people who have been steeped in the Dharma their whole life. And then you go to some country where they never heard of Dharma and then try to teach them. But it's like, it's kind of like teaching manners to a little kid or something where you just have to sit through a lot of rude behavior, which they don't intend. Okay, so a lot of Tisha. And so from here on, the lineage is in Tibet. This is the transition. So his most famous student is Dromten Je. And Dromten Je was extremely famous because he was never a monk, but he was always there with all the stuff you needed Lord Atisha needed for the teachings to spread, like supplies and food and, pack animals to carry stuff, across mountains and, that kind of thing, which is very important. This is like Nick Lashaw or something like that. Okay, to Geshe Michael. All right. And if you want to know more about these amazing lamas, you should study the Lam Rim, with Geshe Michael has been teaching for a decade now. Okay. So, I recommend it. Okay, next is Geshe Potoa. And now we're moving into these lamas called the Kadampas. We talked about Dham last class. The whole last class was about Dham. What does Dham mean?
Advice.
Oh my God. What happened?
No?
No, perfect. 因为就会say 种子才
开花.
Okay. Trying to remember my Chinese. Yeah. Her seed ripened. Yay. Good job, Monica. Yeah, Dham. It's just Dham and Kadampa, right? Meaning everything you hear, even the wind or something, is the Buddha teaching you about emptiness, or your Lama is telling you, 2 husbands. 2. Just when you're about to get mad, wait, remember the 2 husbands, okay? And if you can hear that voice in your head just at that moment, you got good karma, okay? So Potowa taught it to Sharwa, who I don't know that much about, but he's famous. He's a famous Kadampa too. You hear them together, Potowa, Sharwa, and Chakawa. Okay. So again, the interesting thing about this Lojong, or this teaching, is even though it's not Tantra, even though it's not considered a secret teaching, it wasn't taught publicly. All these years, all these teachers, this is 500 BC, 500 years before Christ, right? And then now we're up to like around 1100. So that's about 1600 years or something, 16 centuries that this teaching was not, taught publicly, right? Porque, Weishama, why? Why wouldn't you teach the most holy teaching publicly?
Because it's the most holy teaching.
Who said that?
What's up?
I thought so. Is that Hera?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. But if it's the teaching that can get most people free, why wouldn't you teach it to everyone, Hero?
Well, I guess it has to do with the mental capabilities, I guess.
That's true. Yes, we have some other good answers as well. But yes, basically, they're not ready for it, right? Alex said something good too in the chat, because people can hurt themselves trying to change difficult situations. That's true. All your answers are good. And Ria said something good, right? Rialdo. Rialdo? Anyway, yeah, it's too hard. It's too hard. This teaching, what course are we on? Is this course 1? No, it's Curso 14. Okay, course 14. That's not an accident. Okay, that's because these teachings involve all the other ones. So anyway, you want to hear a story? You want me to tell you a story? Lojong's all about stories, okay? Okay. So this famous Kadampa Lama, Geshe Chakawa, and this is before Geshe was like a title, at least in Galupa monasteries, because this is before Galupa existed, right? But Geshe back then meant someone like Aldo or whatever. Like they just try to help you from not doing bad stuff to yourself by being your friend. Okay. Sorry, Aldo, you failed with me too many times, but it's not your fault. But Geshe just means like, in that case, it means like spiritual friend. Kalyana Mitra in Sanskrit. So they call him Geshe Chakawa, usually Geshe Potowa, and Geshe Sharwa as well. So Geshe Chakawa, and I think Chaka means it is a place name, just like earlier. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Kadampa Geshe Chakawa. He went by Yeshe Dorje, which means how do you say?
Diamond spiritual friend.
Yeah, but how do you say wisdom in Spanish again? Subaria? Something like that.
Sabiduría.
Sabiduría. I don't know why I always forget. Sabiduría. Yeah. El diamante de sabiduría. Diamond of wisdom or something. Wisdom diamond. Anyway, so there's a famous story. So Geshe Chikawa was, you know, in the place where he grew up. And at that time, Lhasa was like, you know, which is still the capital of Tibet, was like the place you went to for learning. Like even still, right? If you really want to learn yoga in the US, at least, you go to, you might want to go to New York, right? Or LA or something, because, you know, the big cities tend to have money and attract big teachers like Dharma Mitra or something. So it was the same back then. And in Lhasa, there was a teacher named Dorje Senge. Do you remember? What lojong did he write? What lojong did Dorje Senge write?
8 verses.
Yes. Kalamigi, Monica, and Ria Aldo. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Lojong Tsikima, the 8 verses. So he heard this lojong and he was like, oh my God. This is like me 10 years ago when I heard Geshe Michael. I was like, holy, what do I have to do to meet this guy? And I had like $6. I was like, uh-oh, can't do it. I can't meet anybody. $6. I can't go anywhere. I was in school. I was in Chinese medicine school. I had no money. But anyway, I saved up and finally hung out with Geshe. But he was like that. He heard the teachings. He's like, what? This is incredible. I have to meet them. And so he found his way to Lhasa, which is not Lhasa, by the way. It's Lhasa, okay? Hla means like God. Angeles, Los Angeles, Lhasa, the place where the gods dwell, the place where the angels are, okay? Lhasa doesn't mean anything. It's a mispronunciation. Anyway, so he went. And when he got there, he found, because he heard the teaching, and then Dorje Senge, who was alive at that time. So he's like, I have to go meet him. So he goes to Lhasa, he attempts to meet him, and he finds out that he's died. And he's like, no. And so he's like, what am I gonna do now? So he's like asking around. He's like, well, you know, did he have any students? And he asked around, and some people are like, yeah, he's got three students. They're his top students. They're still around. He's like, okay, well, which one should I go learn with? He's like, oh, they're like, well, I don't know. It's not a good time. There's a big dispute going on. And he's like, what kind of dispute? He's like, they're arguing over who's going to be the next, who's going to be the Lama to succeed. Langritangpa, right? Langritangpa Dorje Senge. Who's going to succeed Diamond Lion? And then Chikawa's like kind of disgusted. You know, Geshe Chikawa's disgusted. He's like, they're arguing over who's going to take the throne. He's like, after being a student of Diamond Lion, they're trying to argue over who's going to be the one that takes this, you know, this title. He's like, and they're Lojong practitioners. He's like, forget about it. He's like, I don't want to study with any of them, you know? So he kind of hangs out in Lhasa for, you know, a few more days or something. And then he's getting ready to leave. And like, as he's leaving, he sees someone he had asked about the lineage, to how to learn the Lojong. And he asked them, and as they're leaving, they ask him, where are you going? He's like, oh, I'm going back to my village. He's like, I have to leave. There's nothing for me here. He's like, well, why don't you stick around and study Lojong? He's like, I don't want to study with people that are arguing over who's going to take the throne. He's like, oh, what? argue over who's going to take the throne. He's like, no, 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 no. You got it all wrong. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, they're not arguing over who's going to be the one to take it. They're trying to give it to the other person. They're trying to argue that they don't want to take it. They're trying to give it away. And they're all trying to give it away to each other. And none of them will accept it. So that's the argument. And he's like, oh, oh my God. He's like, wow. This is like when a Buddhist tries to like if you hang out with like Aldo and Rivas or something. And first of all, don't tell any of those people that you like anything they have, okay? Like their shirt or like jewelry or I don't know, their car, anything. They'll just give it to you. They'll just hand it to you, okay? So be careful. Second of all, try to walk out of a door with like Aldo. He's like, you first. No, 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 you first. No, 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 you first. It's like, come on, guys, we got to get where we're going, okay? Like, we stop. I get it, Lojong, right? But really, it's a sign of good practitioners. They're trying, even in small ways, or maybe I should say, especially in small ways, to put other people in ahead, and it's hard. And you should start in small ways, start with the door and then move up to your car, okay? Don't start with your car because then you'll be depressed when you have to take the bus. I like taking the bus in Guadalajara, okay? I like how they drive. What do you say? Camion? They drive crazy. It's awesome. It's like surfing, but on a bus. Anyway, so this is the Lojong Duduma. That's the famous story. And during the reason we focus on Geshe Chikawa is because he's the one who made it public. After all those years of the teaching being underground, like, he's 1101 to 1175. So that's, almost 17 centuries or something of it being taught, like Aldo brings you over his house, and he just teaches a couple of you how, so he's like, okay, you're ready for the secret teaching. He's like, give people what they want. That's the secret of life. And it is, remember, right? Chintamani, maybe you don't know that word. It means wish-fulfilling jewel. Yishinorbu in Tibetan. Yeah, so very famous. People are wish-fulfilling jewel. Give away your stuff. Give away your stuff because you're so desperate to hold on to it that you don't even know you could have better stuff. Then after you give it away, automatically you get better stuff and you don't even remember the old stuff you had. Okay? I remember I looked at some picture of myself like from 10 years ago and I was wearing some shoes. I'm like, I don't remember those shoes. I'm sure at the time I loved them, It's just like, you don't even remember all the crap that you're clinging to right now. Much less next life. I mean, do you remember what your last life looked like? Or your husband? Or your kids? Or I don't know. Do you remember your best friend from kindergarten or something? Like, you don't remember. Like, give it away while you have it, or by the time it'll be too late once the result comes of not having the thing you want, it'd be too late to give away the thing you could have given away because now it's gone. Right? Okay, that's Lojong. All right, so all this was secret because it's hard. It is actually if you really think about Lojong, it's the most basic dharma. It's karma, emptiness, bodhicitta. Right? That's all it is. It's foundational. But it's like you had training wheels on the whole time. And then one day they're like, okay, give it away. Like, do it for real, And you'd be amazed. You should still do, I don't know, I'm a bad student. I'm supposed to just give vegetables, but then sometimes I give in more. And I might regret it a little, but I've seen amazing things happen. Like you, I don't know. I probably shouldn't talk about it on YouTube, right? This is I've seen all kinds of amazing things happen. And in the meanwhile, sometimes, but some in the middle there, between giving it away and the amazing thing, there's a lot of pain. Okay, so you want to minimize that gap, okay, or make it more happy, or you might regret. I'm a bad student, and I just went for it. I'm just like, okay, and amazing things happen, and then I just keep doing it, and then you're always in pain, but like good things keep coming, and you just keep giving them away, okay? I don't know about the pain part. Geshe Michael's probably always in bliss, but he gives everything away. Have you noticed? I don't know. We should hang out with him sometime. Okay, so yeah, so this tradition came down, and it's the main Lojong taught by Pabonka Rinpoche. In the Lam Rim. And in the Lam Rim, it's taught under the subject called Dakshen Nyamje. Dakshen Nyamje. Does anyone know what Dakshen Nyamje is? What's Dak? We keep having it. Maybe Rivas knows. BDAG, Rivas. Pao. Dakha, Dak. I'll give Rivas a second to guess. Dakshen Nyamje. It's the most important word to everyone. Okay. The most important word to everyone is me, okay? Dak means me. So this is I, others. Can I spell this right? Tibetan is hard to spell sometimes. I think this is how. J. Okay, it's in the chat. That nyam might not have an S on it. I'm sorry. Dakshin Namje means exchanging yourself with others. But if you really think about it, which is a radical thing, Geshe Michael teaches it in the Diamond Cutter, and it's the most, it's not, maybe not the most, but it's the famous teaching by Master Shantideva, right? But if you really think about it, I've talked about emptiness. Maybe I should talk about bodhicitta a little bit more. If you think about it, okay, what is the difference between me and who's my victim? Okay, Monica's my victim, okay? What's the difference between me and Monica? Anybody answer. The beard. That's true. That's true. Okay, how about, where do I start and where does Monica begin? How about that? Because that's the question. And Master Shantideva, who's, you know, he's this high, amazing bodhisattva. Master Shantideva is so famous in India, people don't even know where his sayings come from. I was looking at a fridge and it just said Indian proverb under it, but it was Master Shantideva's verse. You know, the verse was, if you can solve a problem, then just solve it, be happy. If you can't solve a problem, then don't solve it, be happy either way. It doesn't matter, don't lose your joy, right? It's super famous teaching. It's like pure wisdom. I mean, it's like a syringe of wisdom, but it just said Indian proverb. It didn't even say Master Shantideva. That's how famous he is. No one even knows these sayings are him anymore, right? But he had this whole thing. Okay, how about this? In the Abhidharma, it says, you know, you end at your hair because you can't feel it. If you pull on it, you feel the nerve, right? But someone cuts your hair, Do you feel it? So are you your hair? Yes or no? So you're your hair? Okay, Monica, I'm sorry. You shook your head. Now you're gonna.
No, you're not. You're the hair.
Okay, Hero. Are you your hair, Hero?
Of course not.
Hero's got nice hair. Okay, did you ever notice? He always does these like fancy things. He's got really nice hair. Hero's got nice hair. So Hero, when you have one of your nice haircuts, it's okay if I cut it off? No problem? It's not you?
Well, no, it's not me. I mean, I don't know if I would be okay with cutting it off, but I'm pretty sure it's not me. My hair.
So your hair. So pick one. Is your hair you or not you?
No, it's not me.
Okay, so I can cut it off anytime I want. Why would you care?
I mean, yeah, you could, of course.
So no one would ever get upset if I cut all their hair off.
I mean, the fact that they would get upset or not if you cut their hair, it doesn't have anything to do with them being their hair.
Oh, because you get upset when I cut my hair.
Oh, I get upset if I cut your hair? No,
No,
probably the opposite.
When I cut my hair, you get upset.
Of course not.
Oh, so you don't get upset when someone else cuts their own hair.
No, I don't get upset.
Oh, but
Duh.
okay, because it's not your hair.
No, it's not my hair.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Hero. Yeah, that's what it comes down to, right? I mean, the nerve ends, but it's still yours. You think of it as yours, right? But after you cut it off and it falls on the ground after you get a haircut, you don't look on the ground and be like, my hair. Maybe you do if it was really long. I don't know. But then you forget about it, right? So that's where most people end, right? They end at their like fingernails. I gotta cut mine, okay? They end at their fingernails or their hair to them, their skin, correct? Is that where we end? Do we end at our skin?
No.
Who said no?
I did.
You don't end at your skin?
No.
What? So your body goes further than your body.
My mind does.
So because your mind goes further than your body, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So your mind goes further than your skin, and so that's you.
Yeah.
So if I poke the wall in your house, you feel it?
No.
Oh, but doesn't your mind perceive a wall in your house?
Yes.
But even though it perceives a wall in your house and I poke it and you don't feel it, it's still you.
Well, it's me if I'm thinking about it. It's a part, it's one thought I have.
So anything you think about is yours?
No.
So you think about my computer, it's yours now?
No, but it's a thought of, it's a thought that's a part of me.
So just thinking about something makes it a part of you? Is that what you're saying?
No, the thought of something is a part of me.
What?
It's a part of my mind thinking.
So just because it's a part of your mind thinking, that means it's you?
Not necessarily.
That's what you just said, Kaylin! Okay. Good. No, Aldo's on the right track though. The point is, just because you don't feel it in the immediate doesn't mean it's not you anymore, right? Because think about this, like, what if well, how about this? I was thinking about this case recently. What if your arm went very numb? You couldn't feel your arm anymore. Okay, maybe some people get numbness, right? Like, say your whole arm goes numb and then someone in the night cut off your hand. Would that be okay? Would you be like, oh, I didn't need it. I couldn't feel it. No, you'd be like, you're insane. You took my hand, right? You'd freak out. Right? True? Some people won't even donate their organs after they're dead. Right? They're like, no, they're mine. Okay? So, no, what is you is an idea, which is what Aldo's talking about, right, Aldo? Where you end and where the rest of existence begins is an idea. Right, Alejandra? So so what happens if Aldo gives me a veggie burger, one of those mushroom burgers from, what's that place on the corner of Providencia and Ruben Darío?
Cuarto de kilo.
Is that what it's called?
Oh, Furter?
No, Ruben Darío and Providencia.
Cuarto de kilo.
Providencia.
Cuarto de kilo.
No. Hero, what's it called?
Which one? The one in Rubén Darío?
Yeah, on the corner of Avenida Providencia.
Oh, those are oh, Kelly's.
Yeah, Kelly's, right?
Those are not veggie though.
Yeah, they are. But anyway, we know what we're talking about. Anyway, if Aldo gives me a veggie burger, what happens to Aldo?
Someone will give him food in the future, healthy food.
I don't know how healthy they are. They taste good though. Setas. Yeah, setas. Hamburguesas de seta. That's a quarter de kilo, Aldo? No, it's a different place.
No, I got mistaken. I think you're saying Carlos. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that place. Yeah, exactly. I like that place. They're always very nice to me when I go there. I always get the same thing. I'm like, setas. That's a mushroom if you guys don't know. So anyway, yeah, so he'll get, sometimes Aldo gets me veggie burgers because he's nice. And so then, yeah, he'll get 10 burgers back. That's what Riva said. So in that sense, I am Aldo. Because think about this, and this is what Master Shanti Deva does. Maybe, I don't know, somebody who's fiscally responsible, like Marisol looks fiscally responsible. Marisol, you save some money in the bank, right? Claro, see, I could tell. So she's got some money in the bank. Why do you have money in the bank, Marisol? ¿Por qué?
Porque quiero algunas cosas para mi hija por lo de su escuela y para invertir en mi negocio y darle vuelta y así.
Sí, claro. Pero ¿cuándo? En el
En el futuro.
Sí, exacto. Sí, okay, perfecto. Yeah. But does the future Marisol, that stuff that money is for, exist?
No, no existe.
No. So Master Shanti Davis says this amazing thing. He's like, oh, Aldo giving me a hamburguesa de seta is no different than you saving money in the bank for someone who doesn't even exist yet. Because when he gives that thing to me, he's going to get back something in the future, correct? Okay, Master Shantideva was the master of Lojong. I mean, it's unbelievable, okay? And so if you think to yourself, oh, I shouldn't give stuff. He says this in one of the most famous lines in the Bodhisattva's way of life. He says, most people think, oh, I shouldn't give stuff, then there'll be nothing for me. And Master Shantideva says, yeah, Bodhisattvas say, I have to give things or there'll be nothing for me. Right? It's the opposite. So in that sense, you know, Aldo extends to me. My mouth, when Seta burger goes in my mouth, Aldo gets full. There's just a delay. There's a time gap. But just like Marisol, she's probably got some investments, right? In the bank, you get interest. Smart people put money in the bank and you get compound interest. Meaning, if you put 100 in this year, next year, it's 110. Well, the interest rate is really low. It's like 1%. Sorry, guys. But then the next year after that, it would be 121, right? And the next year after that, it would be 142, okay? Like that, or whatever. Excuse me, 132, right? And it's compound. It builds on each other, on itself, excuse me. So you have to think of karma that way, and therefore you have to think of others that way. What you do to others will become the you that you are. So in that sense, they're no different than a savings account that you put money into for yourself, except with others, the dividend is much higher because other people are like a Yishi Norbu, a wish-fulfilling gem. Why are other people like a wish-fulfilling gem?
They are better, no, than a wish fulfilled.
Ooh, yeah! Exactly. Why?
Because they're fertile soil for us to plan good karma.
So what?
So if they don't exist, then we cannot plant good karma.
So what? If I had a wish-fulfilling gem, I wouldn't have to deal with all these annoying people. So?
We don't, if we had a wish.
No, porque no sabrías qué pedirle a la gema.
She
Yes,
said because we wouldn't know what to ask the gem.
exactly.
Because they can give you even things you can't dream of now with your limited mind.
Yes. Okay, so it's worth it. It's worth hanging out with Aldo, okay? It's painful now, but later you'll get rewards, okay? Okay, cool. Okay, that's the review of bodhicitta. Now we're doing the Lojong Dunduma. Ready? Okay, it's in 7 parts. The first part is called the Nundro, which is the preliminaries. And so we're not going to explain everything. We're just going to go over the points, and then we're going to go into the explanation. Okay? This is what you do before. Okay, and then you have the main event, Nushi. Nushi Jangchup Kitsem Chongwa. This is the main event in which you practice bodhicitta, okay? Which is, in essence, exchanging yourself and others. And I just explained that for like 20 minutes. Okay. And then next, point 3 is Ken Ngen Jang Chupki Lam Tu Kirwa. This is transforming problems into the path. And there's pretty famous Buddhist books about that sort of thing. What's even better than transforming problems into the path?
Having no problems.
Yay! Exactly. Okay. You could, yes, just, you could skip that part. All right. What's better than aspirin working?
No headaches.
No headaches. Exactly. Okay. Aldo's been studying. Iravor says, what books? I don't know what books you're asking about books. But I would love to answer your question if you clarify. Okay. Then the point 4 is Techiki Nyamlen Trilne Tempa. A whole lifetime's practice wrapped up into a nutshell. All right. We'll discuss it. And then I don't think we'll discuss it in this class actually, but it's all coming. And Lojong Pete. This te means like, actually it's the same te in Sema. Oh, Iravor, what books transform? I don't know. They're on the internet. Just put that in, Iravor. He asked what books talk about transforming. I think there's books called like Transforming Problems into the Path. I've heard of books like that. I haven't read them, but we could find them online. And okay, where was I? Okay, how you know when you've reached your goal of developing a good heart. This is a good thing, and especially when I first started studying spirituality, and I wasn't as like aware of my mind or something, I would oh yeah, I would yeah, I always wonder, I'm like, well, how far along am I? Have I changed? Have I accomplished anything? Because with spiritual things, you can't tell, right? Like, it's not visible. It's not like lifting weights. You're like, 1 week you're lifting 10 pounds. The next week you're lifting 20. You're like, oh, okay, 10 to 20. Or even, that's one of the great things about doing yoga. It's like 1 month you can't do a handstand, the next month you can, right? You're like, oh, I got better at asana. I got better at yoga. But spiritual things like meditations is classically very hard. You're like, I think I'm better some days, but then some days I can't focus at all. So I don't know. So this is supposedly helps you know when you're going to reach your goal. And then Lojong Gitamsik promises to yourself that you will never give up developing the good heart. And yes, this Lojong Dunduma is famous. Oh yeah, if you have this book, Aldo has this book, Achieving Bodhicitta. It's about this Lojong. Okay, it's combining this Lojong with exchanging self and others, and I think the 7-step cause and effect method for achieving bodhicitta, if you know what that is. Okay. There's a whole book by Ken Rinpoche about this. Okay, it's very famous. And after Pabonka Rinpoche taught it, he taught it to Kabje Trijang Rinpoche, and then he taught it to Lobsang Geshe Lobsang Tarchen Rinpoche, and then he taught it to Geshe Lobsang Chunzen Rinpoche, Geshe Michael Roach, and then he taught it to me and Aldo and Rivas, you know, the whole lineage fell apart. It was doing so well. I don't know what happened. Okay. So now you're stuck with us. Maybe you can go study with Geshe Michael and get a good version. No. I'm just saying that's our lineage. And it's strong, actually. I think it's very strong in Mexico, actually. I feel like Mexican culture lends extremely well to practicing Lojong. I don't know why. It's just something about the culture. It's just really good at Lojong. My Ukrainian students, they're unbelievable at logic. I mean, other students are good, but they're like logic machines. I don't know. I think it's something with that culture. It's just they just take to it. Not to say they're not good at Lojong either, but because they are. But it's just every culture has their things. Okay, so then the 7th point is Lojong ki labja. And that's advices, little tricks for developing the good heart. And you need these tricks, okay? Like, I remember when I first started learning these things, I had a very amazing Sangha in, Hero had to switch. There you go, Hero. Yeah, when I first started learning these things, I had an amazing Sangha of really cool practitioners, friends of mine. And we were all making these like mistakes. Like we're all making the same mistakes. We're all making mistakes and we're talking about it and things like Lojong and trying to figure out emptiness. And and because of that, I learned a lot of advices of like what to do and what not to do. Maybe what not to do is more important. I don't know. I try to save my students pain, okay? Life is suffering enough. You don't want your religion to bring you suffering. The religion is supposed to take away your suffering. Or your spirituality, your practice. Anyway, 3 steps to training in the preliminaries. Okay, so now we're explaining the 7 points. Point 1 was the preliminaries. Okay, Nundro. Train yourself first in the preliminaries. Oh yeah, these aren't the preliminaries to meditation. So we're not talking about like the 7 steps and the 6 branches, you know, those things. Before you or while you're and after you're meditating. Okay. First, meditate on the fact that that you have a very short window of opportunity. So this is very, very good advice. Okay, I'll tell you the truth. Right now I'm in Philadelphia. I haven't lived here in like, I don't know. I lived here for like 3 months 14 years ago. It's basically my hometown. And, you know, it's got good and bad things. But the reason I'm here is because my father is sick. And it's really, as much as it's horrible to see someone you love sick, it's also really beneficial to see someone you love sick because it reminds you, wait a second, they're like me. I remember him. Okay, I'm 41. I remember him 40 years ago, right? Extremely healthy, vibrant, running around, working, being dead, whatever. Okay, now here we are. He's in a hospital bed. He can't really do anything. So it doesn't last forever. These things don't last forever. Geshe Michael taught these classes. I think at the time he taught them, he had the biggest Buddhist group in America. Okay, I think so. He had hundreds of students. And for like 7 years, and he taught all these teachings. This is like the first time that the Geshe course was ever taught openly. I think it's the first time, at least that I know of, that women were allowed to learn the Geshe course. Do you know that? Now there's more women in our group than men. You know, all the men are like, I don't know anything. Women are like, You're like, okay, you win. But 30 years ago, that didn't exist. You know, so it was groundbreaking. Is what I'm saying. It was revolutionary, and it continues to be. It's trained thousands of people. So, but it ended one day. One day, Geshe-la was like, I'm going on retreat. And the group was at this peak. I think it was the biggest the day he left. You understand? And he's like, sorry. He just dropped the mic. Like, bye. Like, I taught everything, going on retreat, got to get enlightened. Hope you work it out. Right? The classes ended, and that was it. Geshe Michael never moved back to New York. You know, he went on retreat, and then after retreat, he lived in Arizona mostly. He started Diamond Mountain University. You know, he traveled the world. He went back to New York, but he never lived there again in the same capacity. And he moved on, and those classes ended, right? So like when a weird dude says, hey, I'm gonna give you free classes on Zoom on how to get enlightened, maybe, I don't know. Maybe you should take it. Okay. Because it will end. It all does. I mean, unless you get enlightened, then you'll be omniscient, and good on you. So, and then meditate on your death, because it's coming. If you don't think about your death in some way, I don't think about it overtly anymore. When I first started learning these teachings, I would think about it overtly, like all the time, because I tried to practice hard. But in the back of your mind, you have to realize you could go any day. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a plague right now, okay? If you don't, I don't know, some people seem to be in denial about this plague thing. They're like, well, I didn't see anyone die. CNN is fake news. You're like, all right, dude, whatever. I think it's clear, nearing 250,000 people have died. Okay, if that many people died at once in any event tomorrow, people would be like losing their mind. But just because of how humans are, because it was over a 9-month period or something, they're like, I don't know. It's just another number. I don't know. It's interesting how human minds can get habituated to anything, good and bad, unfortunately, or fortunately, right? Respectively. Okay, so you're gonna die. So there's a saying, practice the Dharma like your hair is on fire. Okay. But then it's funny, but at the same time, you have to practice the Dharma like it's a marathon. You have to have two minds. Let me give you advice, because I tried that. If you just practice like your hair's on fire, that's what happened to me, by the way. I lost it all. You have to practice as if you're gonna die any day, but then you also have to practice like you're gonna live another 80 years. You have to do both. Or you're not going to succeed. Because if you are so adrenal and running around crazy, you'll hurt yourself, really. I've seen very strong people get sick or just tired, backache, can't get out of bed, want to stop teaching, want to stop practicing, can't meditate anymore because they went too hard too fast. Okay? So you're like an Olympic athlete who runs fast and knows how to pace themselves. Okay. So meditate on your death. And then meditates on the problems of samsara. And this is not popular. I mean, nowadays it's really popular to talk about your bliss, like follow your bliss, man. Like, you know, and like you should follow your bliss. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I mean, who said that? I think Joseph Campbell said that actually. very, very wise individual. But at the same time, you're following your bliss. And then there's some people who are like, follow your bliss. That's like only something people with like privilege say, something like that. Like, you know, tell it to, I don't know, people living in like the favelas or something, in like slums of Rio de Janeiro. Like follow what bliss? So, and I get it. If you have bliss, I think you should follow it. But then realize it could be taken away from you at any time. Especially if you don't know Dharma, if you don't know cause and effect, okay? I think it gets hard because it starts to sound like you have to be Buddhist to get this stuff. Buddhist just means the Buddha taught it. It doesn't mean this is Buddhism. Buddha means the one who's awake. It just means wake up. There's a thing called cause and effect. Things aren't happening randomly. And if they were, then you shouldn't try to do anything because it's random, right? Okay? So therefore, if it's not random, if there's a cause, and you're the only one that's always in your world, therefore it's coming from you, then you should do the things consistently that create the things that you consistently want. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to call that any religion. That's like calling gravity a religion. It's not. If I drop my iPhone, it's gonna fall. Okay, and if it breaks, it's gonna be annoying. So I don't drop it. Okay, if I do bad things to people, bad things are gonna happen, and that's gonna be annoying. So even when it hurt, I want to hit people, I don't. Okay. All right. So samsara is a problem. You're gonna have a problem eventually. And then when you have them, you have to think to yourself, all right, I guess I'll stop thinking about hitting people or whatever your bad habit is. Okay? So meditate on the problems of sorrow. Okay, now we're up to the actual practice. Yay! So how do you begin? You take refuge, but refuge is basically what I just said, okay? Things are coming from me, therefore I should do good things for people. And that's my only refuge. Period. And these are like the meditation preliminaries or something. There's the warm-ups. Make supplications like this is what you ask your Lama for help, and you can visualize. It's very traditional to visualize your Lama. Or in your head, sometimes you can just beg like, please, please, please help me, come on. It's good, it's humbling. And then you can even do them, like this is if you're officially meditating, but I think it's important to do it even like kind of like when you wake up, like, oh, another day. Sometimes if I'm with it enough, I think when I wake up, I'm like, oh, wow, alive again? Okay. I hope I do something good today, refuge. I hope I have the teachings in my heart, right? Like Lojong. That's like supplication. And then just focusing. This says it's officially do the breathing meditation, which you should do too. Okay, so here we go. Learn to see all things as a dream. So these teachings can be very dangerous. Why are teachings like this so dangerous? Why are these teachings dangerous? I thought they were holy.
Because we can have confused,
Yes. Exacto, amigo. Yeah, because if you tell somebody, if I just met Monica and she never studied Buddhism before, and I was like, learn to see these things as a dream, she'd be like, okay. like how does that help me? right? like what do you mean? Like things aren't real? And so, you know, I mean, no offense, but that's like something like a hippie would say to you, right? Like, it's a dream, man. Which it is. And the hippies were right. Okay. But yeah, exactly, Luna. You would think nada existe, right? Nothing exists. But things are a dream in the sense that they seem to be one way and they're not. Right? Things seem like, oh, this is a good one. Hard work makes money. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, but what's the hardest working country on earth?
8.
Viva la Mexico. Mexico is the hardest working country on earth. Is it the richest country on earth? Okay, I'm not hating. I'm just saying this is karma. This, you know, hard work is not the thing that makes money. You know, I think hard work, if you work hard and know these principles, you can make a lot of money. Okay, things are like a dream. Next, examine the nature of the mind, unborn. Why does it say, okay, this refers to empty. What does unborn and empty mean? I think it doesn't say it here, but I think it has. Yeah. What does unborn have to do with emptiness? Okay, I'll make it easier. What does emptiness, empty and empty space have in common?
They're a negation.
Yeah. Well, and negations are often unchanging. Right? Unchanging. So unborn to me refers to the fact that the nature of your mind is something that is unchanging. If you can see your mind, but it refers to emptiness, meaning if you can see your mind as this thing that has no nature of its own except the one that you're giving it. By the way, all these teachings are the same exact teaching, okay? I don't know if you've gotten that yet. Course 14, it's just pen, 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 pen. What's Riva saying? Pluma, 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 pluma. Yeah, it's the fact that your mind has no nature except the one that is given to it by your karma. Okay, that's it. The antidote itself is gone to is. This is interesting. This is word, I think it's yin in Tibetan. I don't remember Geshe saying it in class, and it's not here. Maybe I can look for it in the reading. But it means, it literally means, okay, it figuratively means the antidote is the mind of wisdom, which understands the emptiness of the outside world and the emptiness of your own mind, body, and mind. So you and your world are nothing other than projections forced on you by your past karma. So is here means like, I would say, isness, which is where the word essence comes from. In Espanol, esencia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sí.
Okay, good. They all come from the same root. Is es, right? Es, esencia. Like how things really, like what's the essence of something? What is it really like? Okay? And that all comes from Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, it's as, meaning asana. Asana means to sit in one place, like how you are. And I don't know how much you want to know about Sanskrit right now. Anyway, Oh yeah, and so is here is a code word that you have to realize that even wisdom itself is empty, meaning, I mean, who made these teachings? We just went through the whole lineage, right? Tubong, Tokme, Kuche, Lord Maitreya. Okay, but who made these teachings?
I
El
mean,
Buddha.
Buddha.
Who said that? Hero.
What's up?
Okay, take these teachings.
Yeah.
They were made by the, you're saying they're made by the Buddha because the Buddha taught them.
Yes.
Okay, that's your proposition. To that I say Kaba Majung. Just because the Buddha taught them doesn't necessarily mean that they were made by the Buddha.
Sutra. they were made by the Buddha.
Okay. No.
They were made by your kindness.
Yay!
Okay.
They were made by your kindness that made a story of how the Buddha made it. Right?
Yeah, true.
Because if the Buddha made the teachings, then everyone would see these Buddhist teachings the same way. Right?
Agree.
And the Hindus and the Jains and the Muslims and the Buddhists would never have gotten in an argument. And I think there's been plenty of arguments, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, I agree. Duh.
Okay, cool. So that's what we're saying. We're saying that even these teachings themselves are empty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And you have to think that, because if you don't think that, what's going to happen one day to these teachings?
I mean, if they're self-existent, if they would be self-existent, what would happen to them? That was your question?
You think of them as self-existent. What will happen to the teachings for you?
Well, they'll become ordinary, I guess.
Yeah.
It wouldn't depend on my seeds to make them as powerful as they are.
Yeah. They'll disappear.
Sure.
They'll disappear. You know? So you have to think of them as empty. So you keep planting seeds. So even if you're tired on a Monday night, you still get off the couch. Actually, I'm still on the couch, but teach some crazy Mexican people about Lojong, okay? For free. No, I'm not hinting. I'm just saying. Okay. Yeah, you have to teach. You have to share. These teachings are empty too. Cool?
Yeah.
Okay. And Geshe Michael emphasizes that that is a reference to Jorlam, which is the second path of the 5 paths. Sok, Jor, Tong, Gom, Milop, which is when you start really having a strong understanding intellectually of emptiness. All right. And then here we go. If you let it go in the essence, source of all things, this means that you'll slip into seeing emptiness directly. Right? So it's not, you don't let it, again, this is dangerous teaching, right? Because people are just like, yeah, just let it go, man. Just like, let it go. But it really means, or what it refers to, Try to let it go. Overcome the problems of meditations, which are distractions and sleepiness. So actually, I guess it means the opposite, focus, which is kind of the opposite of letting it go. And then the second meaning is, okay, this is the one. You will let go of the perception of things as being self-existent. Which, even if you have a second of this, is amazing. You know, sometimes I'm a little clearer, and then I just have a second of like, oh yeah, that's empty. Like, and you just, for that split second that you have that intellectual understanding, you know, I'm not an arhat, but it's nirvana, meaning you can't get upset. You know? So this is when the second path, which is Jorlam, the path of preparation, becomes the third path, which is Tonglam, which is the path of seeing emptiness directly. Okay. All right. Here's this line. How much do I have left? Am I going to finish? Oh no, I talk too much. Okay. I have time. We might go a little faster. In between sessions, be a figment of the imagination. Wow, these teachings, you really need explanations. This refers to a specific spiritual level, which is called, say, Jetop. Yeshe.
Yeshe.
Jetop Yeshe.
Aldo, what's Jetop Yeshe? He's like reading.
It's the realizations you get after you perceive emptiness directly.
Yeah. What's the most famous? What are they called? How are they grouped?
You lose the doubt in the teachings.
Well, how are they grouped?
How are they grouped? Well, they're grouped according to the 4 Arya truths.
Yay!
They're like how many aspects? Like
16.
16, yeah.
4. Yeah. So this is very famous. Thank you, Aldo. That after you come out of the direct perception of emptiness, you have all these realizations, which can be grouped into 4 groups, which have become known as the 4 noble truths. But that word noble is the Sanskrit word Arya, and that means someone who just saw someone who has seen emptiness directly. Right? Arya comes into Spanish as the word arte, like art, like high stuff. It also comes in English, it's risen, like arisen, Arya, arisen, like higher. And the name of the country, Iran. Iran is the same as Arya, Aryan, like those noble people called the Iranians. Yeah, arte, Ana Catalina. Art. Isn't that how you say art in Spanish? Arte? Okay. It just means art, like, you know, beautiful things, high things. Like Diego Rivera. If you had one of those in your house, you'd have like a shrine around it. You'd be like, oh my God, it's Diego. All right. Or maybe Frida Kahlo, even better. All right. So this verse, in between sessions, be a figment of the imagination, is when you come to understand all these things after you saw emptiness directly, like Buddhist teachings are true. You can never doubt that things are any things that don't have any self-existent nature to them, all that kind of stuff, which we could get into, but it would be a whole teaching onto itself. Practice giving and taking alternatively. Let the 2 ride on the wind. Okay, this is a reference to Tonglen, which is a meditation, which I explained like a little bit, like 2 classes ago, I think. Tong means giving, and Len means taking. Why is the name of the meditation confusing?
Because in the meditation, you first take and then you give, but the name is the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Perfect, Aldo. Aldo's a very good ACI teacher, by the way. You should take classes with him. I don't know what he's saying in Spanish, but it sounds good. Okay, it looks good when he's saying it. So I'm sure he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about in English. So yeah, Tonglen. So this is a practice where on your breath, you take people's problems away and then give them all the goodness in the world. And you can do it while you're like walking around Philadelphia or DF, or, you know, if you happen to be walking on, I don't know, Buenos Aires, in Providencia, I don't know. Random places like that. So when you see them, you go, okay, but you have to use wisdom. Don't just start sucking in people's problems. You have to understand that any problems that you see in the world are coming from you, right? And then use your bodhicitta, which is your love of all sentient beings, to take it away. Okay, good. And there's a whole course on Tonglen that Geshe Michael teaches. It's on the knowledge base. It's in the daily practice courses. If your English is good, you can listen to it. All
We're
right.
also translating it to Spanish.
Oh, wow. Wow. Good. They are translating it. Traduciendo. Traduciendo. Okay. That word. Spanish has too many vowels. Okay. Sorry. All right. Practice throughout the day in words. So this is a reference to doing Tonglen verbally. Geshe-la in the class mentions the teaching. Apparently there's a very specific Tonglen prayer that goes along with it. I don't remember learning that prayer. And I don't remember he saying explicitly in the class either. So this is another reference to Tonglen. And you should try Tonglen. I know some Tonglen practitioners, and they just do it, and then just weird good things happen to them. Okay? Aldo probably does it all the time. He's never going to tell you because he's a bodhisattva. He's the kind of person to do it. And then one teaching, Geshe-la's like, and then I was doing Tonglen, and I was like, wait a second, why don't I actually take their pain away? Like, why don't I actually help them too? like you can actually go and help them too, right? Like, I've been a massage therapist for a long time. It's actually a really good job because anywhere you can go, you can take someone's pain away really fast, like things like that. Or just hand them some money, okay? People like that a lot. Just hand them money. Not for bad things, okay? Not for kawamas. Rivas. Hero taught me this word. Hero taught me all the bad words I know. Okay. Kawamas. Okay. Here we go. We're almost done. Don't worry if you're falling asleep. So am I. The order of taking is to start with yourself. So this is doing Tonglen on yourself, which is a really good thing. I know people who do it regularly. I've done it. I don't know. I would say less than 100 times. So it hasn't been one of my like big practices, but it's cool. It's a cool thing to do. So it's like when I was talking to Marisol about, you know, in el futuro, the future Marisol, you know, you can take their pain away. And maybe if you practice it really well, you can feel it. All right. You can feel the pain getting taken away by your past self, by your future self, when your future self is in the present of when your past self saw your future self being. Maybe, I don't know. You might have to be some kind of yogi for that to happen, okay? Okay, the three objects. Dun, 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 dun. What are those three objects? They are Yidong, Myung, and Parma. Those are the sum. Those are the three. So Yidong in Chinese, what is it? Piaoliang. What's that mean, Yinghui? Piaoliang.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I pronounced Chinese well enough for someone to understand me. Yinghui, I went to get tuina in Chinatown yesterday, and I was trying to say cheap, which is what? Pianyi?
Yeah, correct. Cheap is pian. Yeah, you're right.
And I said piaoliang instead. He was like,
Maybe
yes, very beautiful. I was like, damn it, I meant pianyi.
Maybe
Anyway.
also can. Maybe.
Meili, yeah, like Meigua de Mei.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Good
Okay,
job.
anyway. Thanks, student. This refers to the three things that you think are attractive, things you think are unattractive, and things that you think, neutral. These are the things you focus on all day long, right? Okay. I'm a boy. And when I see pretty girls, my mind goes all day, okay? Guadalajara is the worst place on earth for this, okay? I'm sorry, DFA, I don't know. Guadalajara's got you guys a little bit. You're just like this all day. You gotta be like, okay, no more, focus, man. Okay, just focus. Because we want things that make us happy, you know, beautiful things make us happy, things that we want. So our mind, there's a saying, if you want to know what people want, just watch their eyes. They'll just move to whatever they're interested in, okay? And so this is talking about that. These are the three things people focus on all day long. And so this is similar to our last teaching, right? On the advices. There's the three states: the ignorant liking, ignorant disliking, and ignorance itself. Okay. So Buddhism means we shouldn't like things, right?
Ignorantly.
Ignorantly, what does that mean? What would liking something ignorantly look like, Aldo?
Like, for example, you think you love donuts and you think the pleasure that donuts have are inside them. Therefore, you become addicted and you think you get attached to the donuts because you think there's something inside the donut that makes you feel good.
Okay.
The truth is, it's coming from your past karma of how you treat others.
Exactly. Irvo said it in the thingamajigger, the chat too. Good. Okay, well, if say I saw one of those pretty Guadalajara girls, right? And they had a novio. If I liked that girl ignorantly, what would I be willing to do?
Ask her out.
Yeah.
Disrespect her relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And even if you think it, you have to not do it, okay, fellas? Because, and why wouldn't you do that?
I mean, the most powerful seats are in your mind, right?
Right, but why wouldn't you ask her out?
Oh, yeah, because I mean, you're not respecting a relationship,
And then
and that's creating seeds for your relationships not to get respected. I guess.
exactly, that's ignorant liking. The thing that you think is going to get you the thing you want will. Geshe doesn't even like to say ignorant anymore. He says misunderstanding, because ignorant implies just not knowing. Misunderstanding means you don't get it. Like Master Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras says vrti. He says, in English we say ass backwards, meaning you think the thing is going to get you what you want is actually the exact opposite of that. You think stealing someone's girlfriend is going to get you a girlfriend, when in fact patting them on the back and saying, you know, I wish you guys the best, you know, invite me to the wedding, is the thing that's going to get you the girlfriend. Okay? All right. So these three things go with these three. With pretty things, we have ignorant disliking. With unpretty things, we have pretty things, we have ignorant liking. Ugly things, we have ignorant disliking. And for in between things, it just shows our general state of ignorance. Okay, almost done. Okay. The blame all belongs to one person. That's easy. Who's that one person? Yeah, it's Monica. Everyone blame Monica. Okay, yeah, just put you there, you know, put your name in the blank. That's who it is. And not in a guilty way. Again, it's not about guilt. It's just about responsibility. If you accidentally dropped something on your foot, you don't have to be guilty about it. You just say, oops, I dropped it on my foot on accident. And for years, you've been doing things that weren't quite right, that created the results that you didn't want. Then you would say, oh, I've been doing it slightly wrong. If you did something that was not quite right, that missed the mark, what would you call that in Greek? A sin. Sin in español?
Pecado.
Yeah, it means to miss the mark. It doesn't mean to do something bad. ¿Entiendes? It's an archery term. If you were shooting an arrow and you didn't hit the target, you would pecado. If you want to have a girlfriend and you hit on someone else's girlfriend, you pecado. You missed the mark, dude. You should have patted them on the back and say, I'm getting you a toaster for your wedding. Okay? So it's not about guilt. It's just you're a little off, we say in English. You're a little off. Okay? That's all. Sorry, Christianity. I hope that helps everybody. Okay. Lastly, transforming problems into the path of enlightenment. See deception as being the four bodies. Emptiness is the matchless protector. Okay, I'm going to explain this in 0 minutes, in 0 seconds. This is referring to what we call the Dharmakaya in Sanskrit. That's one of the four bodies of the Buddha, or four parts of the Buddha. The Buddha can be divided into 4 main parts. We'll just say 2 to make my life easier. 2 main parts. The parts that you can see that are like the physical body, whether it's in their paradise or in India 2,500 years ago. And then also the parts which are its mind, the Buddha's mind. Meaning it's omniscience, the Buddha's omniscience, and the Buddha's emptiness. which is the part that you already have. This is called Buddha nature. Because your mind is as empty as the Buddha's mind. If you don't see yourself as an angel, all you need is the karma to project yourself as an angel or a Buddha, and then you will see yourself as the Buddha sees themselves in the sense of omniscient as well as of empty. But your emptiness is the same. So see deception as being the four bodies. Emptiness is the mattress protector. You got to think about, oh, Buddha nature. Oh, me. Oh, I just don't have the karma yet. I better do all that stuff that Geshe Michaels keeps talking about. Okay, that's the third point. The rest to be continued. The homework now. I'm just gonna glance over it. I think we did everything. Geshe Chikawa, 1101 to 1175. Here's his full name. Please memorize it. And it can also be spelled Chakapa. Pa and Wa mean pretty much the same thing in Tibetan. And then the book is Lojong Dunduma, the 7 points, which is called 7-point practice of Lojong. Name the person who first taught the points of practice and give some of the principal figures who passed it on until the time it was first properly taught. Okay, so this is the list I gave in the beginning. Okay, Tuobong. Okay, the Buddha, Lord Maitreya, Arya Sangha, Salingapa, Lord Atisha, Drumtumje, Geshe Potawa, Geshe Sharwa, and Geshe Chikawa. Okay. Mattress protector in Sanskrit. Monica, you want to know in Sanskrit?
You mentioned it at the beginning of the class. No?
I did? In Sanskrit?
Maybe no.
Mattress in Sanskrit is Anyuttara. And then protector is Raksha.
No,
So it would be like,
yeah, sorry, I got confused.
that's all right. Good. More Sanskrit than you want to know, never a bad thing. Okay. Why was this practice not taught openly for many centuries? So people didn't hurt themselves and they didn't denigrate the teaching, right? It's too much for people. It's crazy. They're like, what? If I give Seta burgers to Aldo, I'll get burgers? That's loco, okay? That's basically the whole teaching. Just think about hamburgers, all right? What are the 7 points of this practice? Okay, we're reviewing quickly. Here we go. Instructions on foundations, Dharma, the preliminary practices. The actual practice for developing the wish for enlightenment, bodhicitta. Learning to use problems as a path to enlightenment. A summary of an entire lifetime's practice. Yeah, this is how far we got in class today, okay? This is next class now. The point at which one can say he or she has successfully developed the good heart. Pledges to keep for developing the good heart, and certain advices on developing the good heart. Okay. OMG. Okay, I know I'm a little late. I'm sorry. I talk too much. Give a brief explanation of each line of the following difficult verse from the root text. Really? Okay. Learning to see all things as a dream. Examine the nature of the mind on board. The antidote self to is, let it go to the essence, source of all things. Okay, I'm going to summarize because it's a lot. Learn to see all things as a dream refers to seeing things as empty. Examine the nature of the mind unborn, which, yes, is its emptiness, and therefore think about karma and emptiness. The antidote itself has gone to is. This is as you are having a deep understanding of emptiness intellectually, and then let it go in the essence. As you learn to meditate on emptiness intellectually very well, you get to the source of all things, which is the direct perception of emptiness. Boom. What does the text mean when it says in between sessions be a figment of the imagination? Okay, this refers to after you see emptiness directly, you can never intellectually believe that things exist from their own side and you're on your way to nirvana and Buddhahood. And so things do appear to you as a figment of the imagination from then on, in the sense of your intellectual understanding, not in the sense of a taxi cab hitting your leg. You will still break your leg, even if you're an aria, the taxi cab hits you, okay? But your karma is probably so good that the taxi will just stop and give you a free ride. Okay, what are the 3 objects, 3 poisons, and 3 stores of virtue? I didn't do the 3 stores of virtue. Did I forget that? Okay, anyway, the 3 objects are good looking stuff, not so good looking stuff, and the stuff that you don't think of either way. The 3 poisons are ignorant liking, ignorant disliking, and ignorance itself. Oh, I see. The 3 stores of virtue are to become free of the 3 poisons by resolving to take upon yourself all the pain and the causes that others are experiencing, creating due to the 3 poisons themselves. Okay, so it's basically bodhicitta for each of the 3 poisons, using karma and emptiness. Okay, I'm finishing. I know you want to go home. Actually, you're home already. Explain the following difficult lines from the root text. See the deception as being 4 bodies. Emptiness is the matchless protector. I'll read it to end. In the famous words of Geshe Michael, the fact that things seem to come from their own side and have some nature of their own is a deception created by our minds. Okay? The pen. The principle one of the 4 bodies of a Buddha is the Dharmakaya, or the emptiness of the mind, and the body of an enlightened being, aka its Buddha nature, or your Buddha nature. Remembering emptiness is the matchless protector, since we will remember that whatever we see in an otherwise blank object is coming from our own good or bad seeds, we will automatically be inspired to avoid negative deeds. Pen, 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 pen. 2 husbands, pen, pen, pen. Yay! I did it. Woo! Okay, remember the Tartuk. Everyone, thank you for coming. Oh, Ying Hui, what's the difference between ignorance and misunderstanding? If you're ignorant of something, you don't, in English, it's ignore, right? To not know, doesn't know. But if you misunderstand, that means it's more drastic than not knowing. You see it one way and it's really another way. It's not just not knowing, right? It's like not knowing the law would be, or not knowing would be like not knowing there was a law against littering, okay? Misunderstanding is thinking that it's okay to put as much trash on the street as you want. In Singapore, of all places, that's a really bad idea in Singapore, right, Yinghui?
I think it's fine.
Don't litter in Singapore, okay? Bad idea. Okay, do you understand, Yinghui?
Okay.
Not about the trash, about misunderstanding.
So all our suffering are caused by our misunderstanding. Am I right?
But misunderstanding, especially in the wheel of life, means seeing yourself one way when you're really the opposite way. So it's not quite in ignorance, right? Ming Bai Ma?
Ming Bai, thank you.
Listen, you have Zhe Dao, Ming Bai. Just because you don't know doesn't mean you and don't understand, they don't mean the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Not the same. Okay, you think about it. All right, who wants to say the mandala? Yinghui does. Yay! Jinbei
Really?
Hama.
Okay.
Jinbei Hama.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Okay. Go ahead.
Sashi, Buki,
Buki,
Jushi,
Meto,
Meto, Tram, Biram, Lingshi, Ninde, Kiempati, Sange, Shindu, Mite, Uwagi, Drokun, Namda, Shinga, Jupa, Shod, Idam, Guru, Ratna, Mandala, Kamya, Tayani, Gewa, Di, Gewo, Kun, Sunan Yeshe Sopso Shi Sunan Yeshe Lejowe Dampa Kuni Tokpa Sho.
Oh.
Okay.
Yay!
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you, word.
Thank
Gracias,
you, Rivas.
Lord.
Gracias, Rivas.
Thanks,
Gracias.
word.
You, Rivas.
Gracias, Word.
Thank you.
Hasta miércoles.
Good evening. Have a good evening.
you.
Good afternoon.
Have a good morning. Zhao Shang Hao, Yinghui.
早上好。
Thank you. And then I can attend your class in the morning.
Yes. Do your homework.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. See everybody on
See you on Wednesday.